and welcome to NatFun, the live-recorded tabletop role-playing adventure game where the dice and a few friends tell the story. My name's Jackie, and I will be your game master this session. And this time I'm joined by a few banged-up, brazen, sneaky outlaws from the Scarlet Vultures posse.
Hi, my name is Erin, and tonight I will be Belle Beauregard.
My name's Dan. Tonight I'll be playing Lucius Lorna.
My name's Matt, and I'll be playing Wayne Cole.
Now, before starting this episode, we do have a small bit of housekeeping. Normally, players would tally their XP gains after each session based on what each player accomplished, but due to our short episode and adventure format, we're going to switch things up a bit. We will be adding XP for desperate rolls as they happen in-game, as we've been doing, and we will be recording our character advancement XP gains outside of our regular episode every other session, since normal tabletop sessions usually take 3 or more hours. And we want to share that with you. So if you're interested to hear about what XP the players took, we will be releasing them for free on our Patreon every other episode. And if you happen to subscribe, you will be entered into a raffle to win one of 2 free copies of A Fistful of Darkness, donated by the creator Monkey Echo themselves. There's a link in the show notes. The other quick piece of housekeeping, as I call it, is, again, due to our short episode and adventure format, we are going to modify the healing rules in a bit of a devil's bargain, so to speak, between the players and the GM. Players will now automatically heal all level 1 injuries on any downtime, no recovery action needed, but they can only use their character's special ability once between downtimes.
Each of the abilities, though, right? Because currently we have 2 abilities.
Yep.
Yes.
You can only bring misfortune one time, Dan.
Cool.
Keep it in
I want to
check.
bring a lot more doom to the world, really. That's what I'm going for.
And with that done, let's roll into some shout-outs. After each session, the players and GM write shout-outs to each other on our Adventure Google Doc, highlighting some of the cool character moments we enjoyed from the last session. It's a great way to support each other and remember the awesome stuff you all did, and earn in-game bonuses too, of course. Which is why we like to read a couple before we get started. The first shout-out recipient this episode will receive 1 grit, and the person who posted the second shout-out will also receive 1 grit, both with no risk to overindulgence.
Damn.
The hell you say?
So our first number for our shout-out is 6, which is from Dan to Aaron/Bloody Bell.
Yeah, I like the description. I mean, Jackie kind of threw it at us as we go along here to describe this city, which we haven't really we don't have a map. We're not going off that. So just coming up with the different businesses or abandoned buildings along the way. I thought you were really quick to that and had some very good responses.
Well, thank you, Dan.
And our second number is 9. Matt to Dan.
That cool thing you did during that one time. No, actually, I'm actually torn between 2 things.
He's going to
here.
steal one of Aaron's things.
Oh, I am really torn with this. You did a lot of good stuff. I always love how you embrace the chaos. I mean, especially in something like this where it's really going to potentially kill us all. But, I mean, shooting the dude in the back, pretty cold-blooded and really does set the tone. It was hard for me to get to that level, but I think you've set the tone for us to remember we are not nice guys. And just going with the flow and the situation, didn't say that's what was going to happen initially, but then there we were, and it happened, and it worked out, kind of.
Well, thanks.
All right, so that is 1 grit for Aaron and 1 grit for Matt. So poor Dan.
Well, I've overindulged again.
Wayne's a-changin'.
I think that's what I named the progress clock for his
yes,
mutation.
it is. I'm not a fan. And I need to look in the mechanics if there's a way to help this not happen, but I haven't gotten there yet.
Just don't roll bad. That's how it doesn't happen. It's that simple.
Have you met my rolls?
That's fair. All right. Thank you guys for the shout-outs. It's always kind of fun just to hear what everyone thought of the different fun moments in the sessions. And with that, let's roll into our synopsis. Last episode on Hellstruck's Demise, the Scarlet Vultures had set up a stagecoach robbery, assured that it would go better this time. Having halted the stagecoach by dropping its horse with a shot between the eyes, guns were pointed and tensions escalating, to the point that a shot rang out within the stagecoach. But due to an unforeseen misfortune, Lucius heard the shotgun backfire, and their target, Mr. Riggs, started to panic. Only a few brief words were spoken before gunpowder resolved the situation, and Mr. Riggs fell beside his stagecoach. Lucius opened the door and knocked out the woman inside, Mr. Riggs' wife, who was hurting from that backfire. They found the pocket watch and a small box of Hellstone, and some new friends, as a pair of mutated, or struck, creatures came after them, thirsting for the Hellstone they carried. Made of water itself, a pair of foxes attacked. Bullets just split them in two, and running caused more than one outlaw to stumble. But eventually they were able to get away, return to their hideout, the schoolhouse, nurse their wounds, and indulge, or overindulge, some of their vices. By the next morning, most of them felt a little bit better, until a note was found. The tumbleweeds had called a town meeting, the only civilized thing left in Hellstruck since no fighting or shooting was allowed. And so, it is here that we rejoin the Scarlet Vultures as they set out midday to the main street clock to hear what this town meeting was all about. And with that, are you ready to kick this pig?
Yeah.
It's just too good of a phrase to not use. Thank you, down Periscope. You walk down the street towards the main street clock, and there's already a sea of faces gathered there. You see multiple clusters of folks in brown, tumbleweed ponchos scattered throughout the rest of the crowd. A small group dressed in all black, with a small, pale woman standing out in front. Black hair and braided pigtails, playing with a glass coffin-shaped pendant on her necklace, filled with a red liquid. Two men, both balding and one with an impressive handlebar mustache. The brothers Tick and Tack Jefferson, who run the Fine Energy Investors, wearing white shirts, vests one size too small, and small bowler hats. Along the other side of the street, you see Mr. Wong, a few girls from the Dusty Rose, Miss Jolene, and a small trading party of mystics, natives to the area with intricate tattoos lining their arms and legs, long braided hair and feather ornaments hanging from their ears and hair. You even notice a warden from Miners Row in the crowd, off towards the back. Seemed to be chatting with some of the girls from the Dusty Rose for a few minutes. They were once lawmen maintaining order in Awestruck, now just a prison guard to the incarcerated Hellstone miners sent from the outside. So where are you guys going to settle into the crowd?
All right, boys. I know we got ourselves situated in the schoolhouse, but I've never been one to sit in the front of the class. How do we feel about hanging back?
I think we've got to be seen at least, but I agree. Maybe we just shuffle over there between Miners Row and the Dusty Rose.
I like that.
By me?
You know, I think, and she's going to wave over at the rest of their posse, Gil, Jeffrey, and Bob. I think you three need to go take the other side of the street.
All right, is it straight or straight?
Bob, you know the answer
What's
to
it?
that.
I had to do it. It was too easy.
Yeah, God. I will do the same thing I did to the last Bob to you, dude.
A few more people gather. The crowd gets a little bit larger. There's kind of a line of people on either side, some standing in the middle kind of in an odd oval shape. You notice an old man in a rocking chair in front of what used to be the clinic that now is just kind of like the old folks' home, but not really, because there's not really like a nurse or anyone working there. There's some people that take care of them, but mainly all familiar faces from around town. And then you hear the spurs. As, double check the spelling.
I got spurs that jingle, jingle, jingle.
Not singing that. You see the man himself, Smith and Wesson, leader of the Tumbleweeds, strut out just next to the clock in the middle of the street. Start shooting into the air. Now, I asked you all to gather here today because it has come to my attention that a business arrangement I facilitated has been intercepted. Because I am certain as blood runs red from a bullet wound that even the unnatural critters we've got running around here don't use no shovels. And he looks at his associate off to the side who throws the shovel from the graveyard onto the ground, and it slides, creating a cloud of dust into the street. Now, I know that not much is sacred or respected here in this godforsaken town of Hellstruck, but it's high noon. And the old man in the rocking chair jumps up and from the deck of the old folks' home. No, sir, it ain't. Clock's still broke. Broke as this Hellstruck town. It ain't noon. Well, it's high time we start acting like civilized folk and so forth. So I'm gonna give to the count of 3 for the party responsible for this thievery of property to step forth. I am a man of my word, and I ain't gonna hurt you if you speak up now. But I sure as Hellstone will if you try and stay silent. I've got ears, eyes, claws, and knives just about everywhere in this town. So 1, he holds up a finger. 2, he holds up 2 fingers. And you hear a shot ring out from the distance. And you hear a horse whinny and a loud thud as a horse has been shot.
What?
Mr. Hall jumps back up and starts saying, Wesson, this here is a town meeting. 3. He holds up 3 fingers, pulls his pistol, aiming straight at Mr. Hall, and pulls the trigger. Click. Holsters his gun. Now I'll be. All right. You drive a hard bargain. I can respect that. But anonymity comes with a price. So I guess that leaves us with 2 choices. As you see Mr. Hall, knees shaking, sits back down in his rocking chair. The gun had no bullets. Now you can return the artifact that was stolen with an additional fee within 1 week. I've arranged for a special order down at the general store. You may not trust me, but we all know Mr. Wong respects the laws, with heavy air quotes, of his ordering process, and even I ain't changing his mind on that. Or you can stay silent, and I will set to work discovering who did it and destroying everything you care about until I'm paid back in full. You've got 1 week to settle up, or we will start picking scabs until you do. And he starts walking back and forth, looking out into the crowd, trying to catch eyes with as many people as he can.
As Smith and Wesson is making that way, Belle makes direct eye contact with him. No looking down, anything, just staring straight back at him.
And just after he catches your gaze, he kind of turns, puts his arms up to address everyone again. I'd hate to see the scavengers circling your sorry hides if you don't settle this debt. Some say the vultures responsible might even be a shade of scarlet if you look just right in the sunlight. Or maybe it could have been someone lost in the Death Valley. And he looks over to the woman with the black pigtails. Or possibly one of them mystical nature lovers, or whatever they want the trees and plants to call them. And he kind of shoves a thumb over towards the mystics that are over by the Dusty Rose girls.
Wayne's gonna just sit and look cool, not really break eye contact, but he's gonna yawn. Just look as cool as he can be.
Oh, I feel like there should be a roll here.
Fair enough.
I mean, he's trying.
What would
He's
that
trying to look cool, so yeah.
Like there's one thing you'd be like, he yawns and just hangs back is one thing, but if you're trying to look cool,
It's a sway.
I feel like...
Well, no.
That's definitely a sway roll.
I like how everyone else is like,
You
yes.
guys are assholes. I'll roll sway. I'm gonna push myself because I don't want to screw this up. What's my position?
I would say your position is controlled standard. Because you are at the town meeting. No one's supposed to have any violence or issues here.
Yep, +1 die because I'm pushing myself. Let's see what we get.
Yeah, you have to try
And
real
I swear-
hard to look cool there.
If I roll 2 1s, I'm firing and I'm not asking questions. Woo. Oh, goodness. That's a 5 and a 1.
All right, so where are you propped up there, Wayne?
I'm leaning against one of the posts on one of the porch, probably near the Dusty Rose there, kind of between the general store and the Dusty Rose area. Just kind of leaning, looking bored, and like I said, I yawn, but I don't break eye contact. I'm looking like I'm paying attention, which I definitely am. But I am bored to being here, but I am a little concerned about the situation. But I knew it was going to come.
All right, you are able to portray that without too much difficulty, but as you go to do your yawn and arch back, you try and do the cool arm stretch too, and you kind of slide a little bit and almost catch yourself off kilter, but didn't seem like too many people noticed. Just Miss Jolene
Yeah.
muttering something under her breath.
Slick. I just acted.
Wayne, you ain't that cool.
But I am that bored.
As Wesson keeps walking on the street, I sure as hell don't care, as long as I get paid. But the tumbleweeds are going to be stopping by Mr. Wong's general store before closing in 1 week. And my box and my Hellstone better be there. Now get on out of here. Get on about your day. He starts walking up the street and gets engulfed in all those clusters of brown ponchos until you can't even see him anymore, and they just strut down the street away from the broken Main Street clock.
I'm just impressed he could count to 3.
And Lucius will look at Belle and Wayne and say, all right, where are we going?
We need to talk to the boys. She's gonna lift up her chin, look over at Bob, Gil, and Jeffrey.
Let them know what's going on, but don't let them too much. These guys aren't the sharpest knives in the drawer. It's why we hired them.
That's why we hire them, and that's why they don't go in the schoolhouse too often. But I want them to keep an eye on the Tumbleweed gang, mostly just to make sure Mr. Wong ain't being hassled too often.
Good point.
I don't think that would be dumb for anybody, but it could happen. I think that's fair. Make sure they just hang out on the main street.
Yeah, I think Smith might have some ideas about what to do to pick at that scab.
Well, be the first time he ever had a real idea, but he's suspicious, but he's suspicious of everybody,
That's right.
you know. So let's make him suspicious of somebody.
Oh, you want to do a frame job?
Maybe just a path of breadcrumbs. Leave it at that.
All right, Wayne, I like that idea. All right, well, you stew on who you want to frame. Bob. Not framing
yet.
Bob. But I want to talk to Bob.
Use a comma, woman.
Think about who you want to frame. Comma.
Comma,
Hey,
comma,
Bob.
comma, chameleon.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
I need you and Gil to post up outside the general store. And just keep an eye on the comings and goings. Tumbleweed gang. Don't be too suspicious now.
All right.
Play checkers or something.
You worried about something?
Nothing more than I usually am.
All right. Come on, Gail.
All right, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Move along. Yeah. Yeah. Well, why don't we reconnoiter over at the old hangout and see what we can see for our next situation.
Yeah, this is something we should be discussing in private.
And
Yep.
as you start to turn to head back to the schoolhouse, you see that the group that was dressed in all black talked briefly, walked over to their horses and rode out of town towards the west. The Mystics headed towards the general store. Mr. Wong walked with them, just ahead of them. He doesn't talk much. And you notice that the court sands of the Dusty Rose and the Miners' Row lawman and Miss Jolene talk briefly before kind of just parting, all going different ways. Miss Jolene goes over and checks on Mr. Hall before she heads back to the Dusty Rose. I about pissed myself. I thought he was going to shoot me right between the eyes. I understand, Mr. Hall. Remember, we gotta mind our manners sometimes.
I like the old guy.
Yeah, Lucius will start walking back towards the hideout, assuming his companions will follow.
Yep.
Yeah, Wayne's just strolling.
You get back to your hideout. It's just past midday.
So, Wayne, who are you thinking of framing?
Well, I got a couple ideas. If I were a real jerk and if I didn't like the guy so much, I'd frame Mr. Hall. But I'm not a real jerk.
Well, you have some problems with the railroad, the Crossings Rail Company.
That's what I was thinking, actually. That's why. But I was gonna check in with you if you guys had somebody who irked you just a little more, that was a little more accessible, because old Ray is a little tough to pin down day to day. That schedule just doesn't seem to stay on schedule. Which, working for a railroad is one of the reasons the guy's an idiot.
Well, I like the idea of framing a rail crossing company. And, we like Pioneer a little bit.
Yeah. Well, anybody gives rail crossing, fluffing and pushes them out, I'm happy with.
Now, if we're going to do a frame job, this is going to be real tight. Because there's about 6 of us, and, I can't keep track of the payroll and the comings and goings, but 40 people who work for Crossing Rail?
I haven't checked, I'd imagine.
Yep, Crossings is 40 to 60.
Tumbleweeds also got about 40 odd more. We don't need 80 people breathing down our necks, but we do this right, keep out of sight. I think it could work itself out. I think we need to make this as much as I hate to say it, a little more complex than it needs to be. Maybe split up the job, hire it out a little, or just make sure we're not the ones seen around the evidence, so to speak. Catch being, I don't really want to give up the necklace.
Well, let's not give it up. He doesn't know it's us. I think we spend the next week building up our rep. Maybe we get a couple more guys with us, and then we can just take out Smith & Wesson. I've been wanting to do that for a couple months now.
Let's just maybe frame somebody else and let them maybe the two big groups thin the herd a little. Then
I have a hand-on-head question.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
we want to try and do a job, right? So which would be like a run, a frame job. But if we try to go up against a level 4 faction, which would be the Crossing Rail, I don't think that's going to work for us as players, right?
I think it's a good conversation.
If you do a really good job, you can in this game pit factions against each other and sit back and watch the fireworks. But I will say that would be a very long operation to do something like that. That wouldn't be like I see a train. I put the box on the train. They'll know it's them. It would be more of you have to sow and still the problems, get the gossip going on, and make sure that you have people seeing stuff that you've paid off, and it all needs to play out. And against 2 big factions would be a pretty big undertaking for your level of posse. But it's whatever you guys want to do. I will also say that as you are all talking and thinking and looking around the room, your eyes settle back to the box that I think we actually did not ever open in our downtime last episode.
Nope, we left it closed.
Yeah, the box that had Hellstone in it when you pulled it from the stagecoach. We never tallied what was in there.
No. Yeah, Wayne saw a couple stones, but he scooped everything back in and threw it in his
There were
satchel.
8 tentacles.
Threw it under the floorboards.
Oh god, what if it makes him mumble?
Okay.
Oh no, not another one.
What if it makes my voice really high?
But I will say that because this is a new world that we're building, my intent had been meetings at the town clock are like the one sacred spot where people can actually talk
gospel.
or have a meeting or get together and figure stuff out. And Mr. Wong is a straight up simple business. You won't get information from him. You get jobs from him. And that's it. And he never talks about his clients. He never talks about who's doing the jobs. And that's a reputation that you guys would be well aware of from your time in town. So it doesn't mean that the tumbleweeds won't work on the outside to still figure out who did stuff. But as far as like Mr. Wong himself, he is a separate entity.
Yeah. I kind of have an idea on this process here. I don't think we, as much as I'd love to see those two just blow each other out of their boots and we pick up the scraps, I think we need to pin this a little further down the line. But again, maybe there's some thinning to be had. Why don't we look in this box and see if there's anything we could use? Because if we could potentially shave off a little of our Hellstone profit here, maybe take a bead off the necklace and plant it, and put that on somebody who's got maybe a few more people than us, but a heck of a lot less people than them, and then get that trail there simply. And worst case, nothing happens. But there's something out there in the world that's not us with everything. What do you think?
Open the box, Wayne.
What's in the box? Wayne puts on his gloves, moves the table over, pops the little hatch open, and lifts up the newest box addition to the floor, and sets it up on the table and opens it up.
Roll 2d6 for me, please.
That would be a 4 and a 4.
All right, now describe to me how you are looking into this box. Like, how are you trying to count or tally? Are you, like, what are you doing?
Honestly, Wayne pulled out the box and he set it in front of him and he lifted the lid from the backside, was what I was thinking. Because he's had a rough day. He knows what's in there, but he doesn't want to see it just now.
So you open the lid, you take a step back, and Belle and Lucius, you look in, and you can see there's a small pile of Hellstone in there. And you figure about 8 pounds or so of raw Hellstone.
And is this in multiple sizes and shapes and forms?
Yes.
Good to know. Look at that. A trail of breadcrumbs.
Seems like more breadcrumbs than what was in the box with the necklace. But
Well, that's my next thought is we take a little piece off the necklace, and we take a little piece of this, and maybe we say somebody broke the necklace up, imply that somehow, to get it sold.
Can I do a little hand on head moment?
Yeah.
You guys are welcome to do whatever you would like. But I will say you probably need to gather some more information before you can have any solid plan of exactly what you want to do, because the amount of information you have right now, you are just going out and hoping something sticks.
Yeah.
Which, again, you can do. But you do have people in town that you can talk to gather more information.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, actually, what we could do, too, is we can, like you said, Belle, maybe run a little job, see if that gets us a little more clout, and see if something comes out of the woodwork to help us along. And during that time, we might be able to hear the scuttlebutt.
Yep. All right, Wayne. Why don't you put the lid back on that box? Let's go chat with Miss Jolene. I feel like the general store is a little hot right now.
Could be. Well, I mean, we could go in and ask about a job, but I see your point. By the way, we need to talk to the old gunsmith about where he got that metal arm, because this is getting old real quick.
His wife, Martha, made it for him, if you were listening.
I wasn't.
I figured. Got
All right.
voices in your head.
You have no idea. Wayne will put the box back, shove the board back, do the dust kick, push the table thing, moving on out.
Do a little dance. Hide a little box. Leave the schoolhouse tonight.
It's a brick. Ow.
So step outside. Belle's gonna put the bandana back over her mouth, make her way straight to the Dusty Rose. Of course, they went through the back door.
Yep, standard issue.
And walking into the Dusty Rose,
Speaking of the back door,
I was just like, I'm just gonna let it lie. I just leave it alone.
it was Erin's face that I finally lost it on, because she was putting the puzzle together and it finally.
All right, let's get back into what we're doing.
Go.
Okay.
We're going to the Dusty Road.
Dusty Rose, and normally pleasantries, but we're just going straight to the back room.
So you just walk in. You don't even say anything. You just walk straight into the back room.
Yep. Sees Juliet standing there, eyes are up and down. Send Miss Jolene back.
Please, and tips his hat.
You're not supposed to go back there without Miss. Oh, I do not like that woman.
Nobody does, but
I heard that.
I bet you did.
ladies.
You know what, Juliet?
Ladies, we have other things
There's
to
a reason
do.
why.
Back room.
Wayne Cole, thank you for keeping me in check.
Wayne peed a little.
A few minutes go by, but Miss Jolene's office of the Dusty Rose is a place that you all have been to various times to talk to her, to figure out plans, and for some of you, even when you were in your younger days, because some of you spent a lot of time at the Dusty Rose, even as little youngins. So, Lucius, what's one thing that you always remember from Miss Jolene's office at the Dusty Rose?
She has a bookshelf with a fine collection of books. Outside the library, which doesn't really exist anymore. She keeps her own nice little library going.
What about you, Belle?
The desk is a great place for writing checks, but it's also a great place for making a mess.
All right. Not exactly what I was looking for, but fair. And Wayne, what's something that you notice when you step into her office? Is there like a particular, decor on the wall or a chair or something that just kind of sticks out and catches your eye?
I'd say she has a clock. And Wayne being the mechanical mind that he was, and he's intrigued by an actual working clock standing in the corner.
Not many of those in Hellstruck these days. So you have a minute or two to sit in her office before Miss Jolene comes in. Well, I was expecting you guys, but not quite this quick. Interested in meeting?
Had a nickel.
Yes, Miss Jolene. We recently came in to a collection of sorts and need some motherly advice on what to do with it.
Oh, Belle, you didn't.
No, this is
No,
something
I
else.
didn't do the tumbleweed thing. I'm talking about the stagecoach we robbed.
God. Settle
Well,
like
now
a
you're just going to make
jackhammer.
me an accomplice the more that you talk. Give me a second. And she normally has just a curtain, kind of a nice velvet curtain, covering the entryway into her office, and she closes the door. You know I have to close the door when we have these kind of conversations. You seem to be a little amped up. Are you sure you didn't do anything to make Weston mad? I won't be mad at you, I'll just be disappointed.
Oh, that's even worse. Wayne's still breathing, which will just piss Wesson off. And he's still breathing, which pisses me off. So, you know what? I am a little wound up, Miss Jolene, and I'm looking for something to do.
Wayne's gonna go over, swing between them, and stand at the door while they move into the office.
We're in the office.
You're in the office, and the door to the office is closed.
Yes, as they move deeper into the office, he's gonna stand by the door while it's closed.
Okay. Are you trying to look cool?
No. I do look cool. There's no trying about it. You and your semantics.
I couldn't help it. Now, Lucius, you know I always taught you right and told you right. Are you all in some trouble?
Nothing we can't handle without a little help.
Alright, I can read between the lines far better than you all think I can. But you're in luck. Not awestruck luck. Actual luck. Did you see that lawman I was talking to?
Belle will nod.
Yeah.
So apparently he checked in on that special order Weston was talking about before the meeting. It involves returning an item and 12 pounds of Hellstone, which is a pretty significant amount. But I also caught him talking to one of my girls about a recent explosion at the judge and executioner's mine. Not sure what caused it, but it shut down until they get new equipment by train, which is at least a few days out. If you knew anyone that was looking for, I don't know, an amount of 12 pounds or more of Hellstone, might be a quiet time to go have a look.
Well, Miss Jolene, you have been mighty helpful. I really appreciate that, and I'm sorry about any disturbances I may have caused with my antics. You know, just seeing the tumbleweeds walking around like they own the place after what they did to Pa. It just ain't right.
Now, I don't normally give this much away, but I have a feeling you really need this information. And I love you just as much as I love any of the girls here at the Dusty Rose. And the guys. And those that have mutations too. Don't know what to call them.
Struck.
Yeah, we love you too, Miss Jolene. All right, boys, say your goodbyes. I have a feeling we've got a long ride ahead of us.
Yeah. Wayne will tip his hat,
Thanks for your help.
step away from the door, open it, and let them go first.
Wait, Belle's gonna stand by the door. Wayne, first in, last out. She's gonna shove him out the office.
Called being a gentleman, Belle. You wouldn't know nothing about it.
You're right, I've never been a gentleman a day in my life. Now keep walking.
This I know. Take it while you can get it. Trying.
And as you step out of the Dusty Rose, you see Bob and Gil posted up with two checkers on the railing of the boardwalk, just like sliding them back and forth because they don't have a checkerboard. And Bob sees you and he just waves way too enthusiastically. Hey, Belle, I'm doing the thing that you told me to.
Oh, God.
Damn it.
Move them. Get them a hoop and a stick or something like 2 7-year-olds should have.
All right, boys, do you think we need more hands heading out to see the judge?
No.
Leave him here?
That'll just draw more attention.
All right.
Yeah.
Less is more.
Big group of us head out of town. That's gonna
Yeah,
draw
I bet the
eyes.
tumbleweeds fall us right out if we did that. As it is, we may want to go out 2 and 1 and then meet up.
All right, that's a thought. Well, Lucius, I'm going to put you in charge of grabbing acid bath. I need to say a quick thing to Raven before we leave.
Not a problem. Lucius will go head over to the stables and start prepping their horses.
Wayne will go, wait a little while, and then walk after him. Go get his horse. He's going to head a different way and then meet them outside of town.
And Belle's going to go in to the Dusty Rose, and she's going to order a white rose shot, which just means she's leaving a message for Raven.
Hi there. Are you enjoying characters like Roland, Wayne. Well, and there's those other guys, too. If you do, please tell a friend, leave us a rating or review, or even join us on Patreon with either free or paid content. It really would help us out. And we really, really appreciate you being here along with us. It's been a lot of fun, and we want to keep doing it. Have a good day, and remember, keep your friends close and play a game.
And she's going to scribble a little note and pass that off to the barkeep. So I'll need a shot of white rose and some special ingredients for you. And the note just says, I'm going to be gone for a couple days, but there's 8 pounds of lovin', and you know where to find it.
And as you order your drink and start writing, the barkeep steps to the side, and Miss Jolene walks up. And she calmly waits for you to finish writing. Set the pen down, and she puts her hand on yours. And you notice that the barkeep's not even in this room anymore. There's not even any court sands in this room. It's just you and Miss Jolene at this moment. Now, Belle, I know that you think you got some mighty big britches. And I'm going to teach you something about business. If you want to have friends, it's a two-way street. Don't come in here lying to me again. And she picks up the note, folds it, tucks it between the massive jugs she's smuggling.
That's hygienic.
Belle's gonna look at her, and she's gonna do like a sad smile. All right, Miss Jolene, you're the closest thing in this world I got to a friend. Won't happen again.
She pats your hand. That's my girl. I'll give this note to Raven when she gets back. Y'all be safe out there.
All right, we will.
And she heads to the back room, and right as she gets there, she pulls on a string, and you can hear a couple of bells. And within not even 30 seconds, all the court sands, the barkeep, everyone's back in the room.
Man, the power that woman has in those jugs. I'm in awe.
She just shakes them and they jingle.
That's where the bells come from.
Yep. They're bolted on.
Oh, no. All right, Belle's going to go back out
now.
Yep.
She's going to find Lucius an acid bath and saddle on it. Wayne doing that thing where he wants to meet us outside of town.
Yep. He's got a mind of his own.
Well, he may have more than one mind. I heard him talking to himself the other night. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
All right, so it sounds like you guys are going to ride and talk to plan your run.
Yeah.
Or did you want to acquire anything else in town before you head out? Because there are some mechanical questions about rolling for your run. So I just want to make sure you guys are done before we set into the next phase.
We definitely need to out of game role-playing, pick what our loadout is going to be before we leave town,
Yeah.
but this would just have been like a really quick grab from the schoolhouse.
That's what I think. Yeah.
So Belle is going to bring a lantern, a rope, and some demolition tools,
Good
which
God,
means she
woman.
is carrying a normal loadout.
And I do think that you don't have to predetermine the items. You just determine your loadout. It gives you creativity in the moment to say what you've got, and also to do that flashback thing where you can kind of describe stuff. So,
All right, she's going with a normal loadout then, and maybe demolition tools or not. We'll see what she needs.
And Lucius will also be at a normal loadout.
Wayne runs with a normal for now.
all right. And then you guys do need to pick your plan of what kind of run you're planning. Assault, deception, stealth, beyond, social, or travel.
I feel like this is going to be a stealth mission.
I was thinking the same.
Yeah, I was leaning to that. Get over there.
You hear that, Wayne? Stealth.
Till the shooting
talking
starts,
to
it's
Wayne or
always
Matt?
quiet. Yes.
Clang, 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 clang.
The only thing is, well, we don't know till we get there, but let's plan on it being a stealth, but I have a feeling by the end of this it might be a deception.
He means assault.
He always means assault. Anytime he can bring out that mare's leg.
It's always assault in the end. It's just how you get there.
All right. Well, we're going to start with being quiet.
Yep.
So stealth. All right. So we've got our plan. We're going to sneak into the mine because it should be unoccupied. So we're going to be using stealth. That's kind of the plan and the detail. We got our load limit.
Yep, and we have to do the engagement roll, which kind of sets the scene so I know what you guys are walking into. So it does kind of the, risky standard or, what situation you're walking into. But the engagement roll is a fortune roll, and we have to kind of check if there are any major advantages or disadvantages that you have going into this run. So you guys kind of want to be stealthy. You know you're doing a stealth run, thinking about what you're after, what you know, how you're going to accomplish that. Is this operation particularly bold or daring?
I mean, we are stealing right out from someone else. So
I think that would be the second
kind of
one.
bold.
But
Because this plan detail expands
or the second
vulnerability.
one.
Yeah.
I'd say if they were there, it would be bold.
I think
Okay.
The fact that it's closed and it's known that it's closed, not brazen necessarily. But on the converse side, it's also not overly complex or contingent upon a bunch of factors, which would subtract a dice away from you. So I don't think you guys necessarily have the pro or the con in that one. But if you guys have a strong narrative reason differently, we can totally adjust that.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. I'm good with that.
Does this expose vulnerability, hit them where they're weakest, or does it go against someone kind of like at their stronghold?
I think it's a vulnerability because there's nobody there. We know about it. Not a lot of people do, and we know there's a connection.
Yeah.
Okay, so that adds 1 dice. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation?
Done.
I mean, Miss Jolene did.
All right, so +2. Are any enemies or rivals interfering in this operation?
Unknown.
Not as of yet. The tumbleweeds could be. We don't know.
And are there any other elements that you might want to consider? Maybe a lower tier target will give you +1 dice, or a higher tier target will give you a -1.
Well, do we go on and just take what we need, or do we try to get a bunch?
Well, we were looking for 12 pounds, but I would always take more, so...
Well, I'm wondering if we already have 8 pounds of that 12.
All right, so let's split the difference. We're going for 10.
I'm just saying, it's awful close to his old homestead. So let's see what we see. Yeah.
I will say we're going for an average number.
An
don't
average
know.
number.
Sounds good. In the middle, 0, I guess. No plus, no minus.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so you start with 1, and you guys are at +2. I will say there is a factor that you are unaware of that takes 1 dice away, which
Fair
means you
enough.
have 2 dice for this engagement roll.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll from the posse sheet.
Yep. Ho! Oh.
Well, that first one was a 6 and a 2.
Nice. That's pretty good.
You are engaged. How do you plead?
I do.
No.
Right out. Wayne rode out south, you guys rode out west, and we meet up in the middle and have some of this talk. Go from there. And it's about, a day and a half out?
Mm-hmm.
So, each of the hexes on the map are a full day's ride, and you guys are looking at Judge and Executioner's Mine, which is owned by Miners Row, which is the ex-lawmen from Hellstruck that now oversee all of those that are incarcerated from the lands surrounding Hellstruck, incarcerated to mine Hellstone until the day they die. And this is going to be about a 2 days ride outside of town. It is on the southernmost part of that second hex outside of town, just outside the gallows. super cheery place.
Why is the gallows so far out, now that I think about it?
Not everybody wants to see
By the
a
mind.
mutated man dangling from a rope, especially if that rope don't kill him and they have to shoot him dead.
Have you met anybody in this town? I think that you are full of crap in that statement.
All right, well, Mr. Hall doesn't want to see that, and, we're all just waiting for him to pass, and then we'll move the gallows closer to town.
Fair enough. Probably because most people who are out there getting hung are going to go to work or get hung. Maybe it's an intimidation device. Never
That
thought
might
of
be
it.
it.
Just moving along. So,
All right, and for this run, I do want to remind you guys of just a couple things, kind of a hand-on-head moment. We didn't do a ton of it in the last one, but you do have some stuff that you can do that's teamwork. Don't have to do teamwork, but you can assist, protect, lead a group action, or set up another player. So if you assist, you can spend 1 grit to add 1 dice roll to their roll. You just have to narratively tie it in. You can protect, you can step in to face a consequence that someone else was going to succumb to. It costs grit, and you do take the consequence. You can lead a group action, which means that everyone has to roll the same action rating, but the person leading it will lose 1 grit for each other player character that rolled a 1 to 3 as their best result. So, for example, if only 2 of you are rolling and both of you roll 3 or below, it costs 2 grit. If there's 2 people rolling and you both roll 4s, it doesn't cost any grit. It's only the highest number. It's not the total number of dice. And then the setup is you can kind of do things together. If you can do something and the following member follows through on whatever maneuver you set, they get a +1 effect level because of your setup action. So, like, I'm going to go distract the guards. And then the next person, since the guards are distracted, I'm going to run the opposite direction and head over to the lock. They would get to raise the set effect level of that outcome. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
yeah, I think there's some cost to those,
Yep.
but depending on what we do.
Yes, assist costs 1 grit. Protect, you take the consequences. And you have to pay grit. Group action, you pay anyone that rolls a 3 or below. And then for the setup, I don't believe there's a cost for setup.
Doesn't look like it.
So,
It's kind of like if you do well, even if I don't do well in my distraction, the other player can try to sneak by, so the consequence would fall on the player who rolled poorly for the distraction, not the player who rolled well for prowl.
yes. And they would get a raise in the effect if you narratively say, I'm going to set up Wayne and I'm going to go distract these guys. If they're distracted and they follow through on your setup, they would get, like, say if they had a risky standard, they would actually get risky great. So they get plus to the effect rating. Another thing that we can do, which is a little hard to get used to, is flashbacks.
Yep.
You can actually pay grit to do flashbacks. I don't know if you guys have read through that section, but it's kind of a way that you can go back in time, sitcom style, and describe what happened to change the situation you're in. It's unique to this game system, to all Blades systems. So we don't have to do that, and I haven't wrapped my head fully around it either, but I just want to throw out these are the things that we have at our disposal.
Yeah, if we're up the creek and you need something and your loadout's not full and you haven't used everything, that's a way to add something to your loadout that you didn't think you might need.
Yeah.
You just narratively go back and say, oh, well, I was at the Rose, I grabbed a bottle of whiskey, and now I'm making a Mazel Tov cocktail.
God damn it.
It's so good. So good.
It was like one of those, like, I was today years old when I realized it was Molotov, not Mazel Tov.
I just love that you shared that with us.
Why?
Yeah.
Because it's
I know, you didn't have to share it with
so
us.
beautiful.
And it's
Juicy,
amazing.
delicious nugget.
It covers up the smell of fishy bacon, let's
Oh.
put it that way.
That's fair. All right, so to get back on
Cool.
track,
Yeah.
so you guys have a 2 days ride to get there, and you can talk a little bit about what you're planning on doing. So narratively, what are you guys doing, and what time do you plan to approach the judge and executioner's mine?
I think nightfall.
Well, hold on.
I agree,
Yeah, I
nightfall.
was gonna say dusk.
See if we see any lanterns, lights. That'll give us an idea of what's going on.
Yeah, I just don't want them to see our lantern light.
Well, we can strike it when we get inside there.
It's true.
Also, there's no dark vision in this game.
Nope. That's my only concern here. It is facing west, so it's going to be late in the day before the sun goes down on that particular piece. But maybe we come in from the south and hide around the hill and then come in and see what we can see.
That's good for me. Stay away from the gallows.
All right, nighttime from the south. We got it.
Yep.
And then I think I do want to do a lead a group action once we get there and have us all sneak into the mine.
Let's do it.
All right.
As much as we can. We'll see when we
Yeah,
get
you got to
there. It looks like-
narratively fit it in,
Mhm.
but absolutely. All right, so now we get to do the cool thing where we doodle-doo, 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 fast forward to the run. That is one of the cool things about this game is you have these sit-down moments where you do some mechanics, but they're pretty quick. So you are a little bit cautious as you approach, and you kind of take the slow ride around, let the horses drink some water, find a patch of grass to graze, and slowly work around this hill that is towering above the mine that you're hoping to get to. And you're looking around, you're keeping an eye, you're playing it casual and cool, cooler than Wayne could ever fathom to be. And
Wayne is always cool. Your narrative is not my narrative.
and you don't see anybody here at all throughout the entire time that you're scoping things out. You see that there is some equipment that's been turned over. Some of the tracks and carts that would normally be outside of the mine or stored in the mine are tipped over and covered in dust because since that first rider appeared, there's sandstorms, windstorms, and little dust devils constantly. Does not look like anyone has been here in at least a couple of days.
All right, she's prime for picking. I'll say tie up the horses here. Let's head on in.
I'm down. Let's do it.
All right. And Wayne will get everybody situated with the horses, and then he'll be the last in the line. Follow your lead.
All right, so Belle's in front, Lucius behind, Wayne in the back, and we are going to... I'm leading the group action to sneak in. So, we don't see anybody, but we still want to be quiet.
All right, now we haven't really described the scene very much, so let's do that a little bit more as well. So this is a fully operational Hellstone mine. You can see there are some pieces of equipment that look just as fancy as that arm that Moonshine Marvin wore. And a couple of them look broken and destroyed. Actually, all the ones that are outside look broken and destroyed. There's 3 sets of tracks that go out of the mine at different angles, and you can see that gallows with the silhouette hanging from it with a few extra arms. But everything else is fairly open. There are some very jagged rocks occasionally here and there. You do see a line of trees that have looked like they've been completely sheared off just by the force of the wind, so they are kind of just standing tree trunks and bare branches at this point. What else do you see as you start to sneak?
I assume there's some mini rail cars, mine cars pushed out, and some track, and maybe a beat down building that miners live in as we're coming across. Wayne's looking real hard at that building, make sure he doesn't see any lanterns or movement, and he's looking at the rail cars, making sure nobody's popping ahead behind it. He's got ambush on the mines, what he'd do.
As Belle's creeping forward, she sees kind of like scorpions running across the sand. Most of them have 3 or 4 tails for whatever reason.
Blessed things.
Got a lot of the sand and dirt just from being kicked up by the wind, and the wood on the tracks kind of looks odd. like having come in contact with Hellstone is causing it to warp a little bit, which might be why their equipment hasn't been working right.
So you guys do have a progress clock up on your run. It is a 4-section progress clock. I will say, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you or not, but because you guys rolled a 6 on your engagement roll, you are in a controlled position. There is nobody here. You've been watching for a while. There's no lights, no sign of anyone having been around in quite a while. But you do still need to infiltrate into the mine. And you said you wanted to lead a group action to do that, and you wanted to be sneaky. So I believe that falls into Prowl.
Mm-hmm. So position will be controlled.
Mm-hmm.
And the effect is
Standard.
So Belle got a 3.
Lucius got a 2.
Come on, Wayne. Do good things for us.
Good Lord. That's a 3.
3 it is.
All right, that is 3 grit, Belle.
All right. 3 grit is heard.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Did you remember that from the group action, or did you not mean to do that because of the grit cost?
Oh, it loses grit for each PC that rolled 1 to 3 as their best result. Okay. Nope. That's totally fine. I will take my consequence.
All right, so you all start to creep over to the mine. Wayne staring at that bunkhouse. Lucius trying to keep his eye out for any moving lights off in the distance, off in the sides, and Belle looking straight at that mine and trying to find the best path to get there quietly. But Wayne is so focused on the bunkhouse, he trips over the rails because they're a little bit warped. That wood is warped from being exposed to Hellstone. And when he trips, he bumps into Lucius, who was looking so far off in the distance for lights and people coming up that he stumbles and hits one of the rail carts and knocks it over. And the dust cloud comes up and kind of gets up in your eyes. Belle.
It's like the Three Stooges
I was
over
going to
here.
say, should have hired the Marx Brothers.
So you do get one part of your clock filled, but you still have three more sections for you guys to infiltrate into the judge and executioner's mine.
All right. Well, Lucius is going to go ahead and kind of just survey. He's sitting down next to this cart, and he's going to just look at that cave opening and try to see, basically, are there multiple openings in this cave or just one?
Let's have you roll, and then you can describe.
All right. Well, let's see if there's multiple openings. There's large, small, whatever it is here. So I'm going to use survey.
And this will be controlled standard.
All right. And that should be a 5.
Nice. So, with a 5, that's a success. There's only a slight, like a minor thing that would happen as a result. What do you see? And then I will piggyback on that.
Well, Lucius hadn't been eyeing the mine. He'd been looking pretty much everywhere else. And he decided that we need to kind of pick up our feet, get moving more quickly. So he's looking just for the straightest path into this mine before we make any more noise while we're sitting out here. So hoping for an opening, and not a barred opening.
And as you're looking and staring intently at the opening, you do notice there are a couple of openings higher up on this hill, this rocky hill, and you hear some chittering. And you see what look like bats fly out of one of those upper openings. It is getting late in the evening. It's normally when they go out to feed on bugs and blood and the like. But a lot more pour out than you have seen in a while. And it's actually hard to judge because it seems like a lot, and then you blink and half of them are missing, but there's like a little small cloud where they were, and then you blink again and then they're back, but a different one's missing.
Displacer bats, really?
Struck bats. They're struck bats. Thank you very much. All right, but you did fill 2 more pieces of your progress clock to infiltrate Judge and Executioner's mine. What about you, Wayne? We don't have to go in order, but Wayne hasn't made a grand gesture yet.
I'm going to toss some dynamite at the hill and see what hits.
Wayne's gonna be real quiet for a second, and he always portrays that he is not into the hokey-pokey, oogity-boogity part of the Hellstone, but in reality he knows it's a real thing, he just doesn't like admitting it. And he's gonna, just as they're moving forward, he's gonna take a calm breath and try to attune to any spirits or heebie-jeebies in this mine, and he's going to take a real hard look at it beyond what's just visually seen.
All right, what does Wayne do to attune? Does he like take the tree pose and put his hands together? Does he reach into his pocket and grab something?
He actually reaches into his pocket and he rolls those shell casings with the carvings on them and that little tiny piece of Hellstone that he's got in there with him. Rolls it around and then just opens his brain a little bit, and his ears and his eyes, everything just opens himself up to see if something makes itself known.
All right, make your attune roll. You are still controlled standard.
Wayne's number of the night, 3.
All right. With 3, you hear and feel voices, pain, fear, terror, and you see, almost as if you have night vision of some sort, what looked like kind of dusty piles or mounds of dirt near the entrance of the cave are bodies. And those bodies almost look like they're twitching. But not the body, because you are attuning, and it's something related to your character. It's almost as if the spirit is trying to break free, but can't, and is struggling, and you can hear the anguish, fear, anger.
Okay. He's gonna just whisper, "This was bad. This was really, really bad. They lost a lot of people in here, so we need to walk softly."
And with that, Wayne, knowing your character a little bit and what you've talked to me about, I will say you are probably a little unsettled by this situation.
Absolutely.
But you have filled your progress clock. So you have been able to infiltrate the mine. You walk past those bodies. You step inside. What do you guys do for light?
Belle brought a lantern.
Yeah, once we're in the mine a little ways and we can't see so easily, I'll pull out the lantern or light up the lantern. We don't do it right outside the cave.
Yep. Wayne will let them light, and he'll walk in last, a little tentatively, but follow him in and let them light the way once he can see that they can't be seen from outside. Follow them down the tracks.
Well, and I pre-rolled some progress clocks so I would know how many pieces to put on all of them for you guys. Step into the mine, and you get a ways in before you do your lights, and you start to look around. And what are you guys looking for, specifically? Each of you individually, because you might all have had different jobs of this run. You know, so-and-so's, the lookout, so-and-so's looking for this or that, or tools, or Hellstone, or whatever. So what are you guys looking for?
I think with Wayne in the back, he's going to mostly be looking back and make sure they're not getting ambushed. He's also looking around, knowing about what he's seen in the floor, making sure their little graveyard instance doesn't come back to bite him. But while he's doing that, he's looking for det cord or dynamite or anything that looks hokey, kind of facing back out the mine.
Okay.
I'd say Lucius is not a fan of being in a Hellstone mine. So he's just trying to find what they need and get out of there as quickly as possible. He doesn't want to linger.
Belle definitely has her bandana covering her nose, since they are in a Hellstone mine. And some riding gloves. But she is looking for a vein. That like dark red shimmer that would tell her Hellstone is here and it just needs to be carved out.
All right. So, out of those 3 things, the one that I feel is the riskiest is the person looking for the Hellstone vein. because we know that's the most dangerous thing that you can touch in a cave near Hellstruck. So, to get this progress clock going, Belle, what do you think about doing a survey, or if there's another action rating that you feel could help you look around and kind of get a sense for your surroundings here?
We are just going to do the survey. I think that's the one that makes most sense. So, survey, what's my position?
You guys are still controlled standard at this point.
Okay. All right. That is a 2.
All right, with the 2. And also, you're the one that brought the lantern, that lit the first lantern, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I have a lantern. Lucius has a lantern. I've got my bandana and my gloves.
All right, with your bandana and your gloves, you take your leather gloves and pull the bandana up just to make sure it's really up on your nose. It's not going to fall down. You take your lantern, and being the first one in, you guys have progressed a little ways into the cave, and it seemed pretty normal for the most part. You can see the tracks going out of the cave. You can see some dust. You can see some tools here and there. But then as you go down kind of a little bit of a steep incline, it almost looks like the ground is a little bit uneven, as if there was not a cave-in, but some earth was moved, making it harder to climb out of this space. The tracks are still there for the rails, but it's not just an easy slope anymore. And you hold up your lantern, and you're the first one to get to the bottom of this slope. And you take it slowly in a half circle and look around the room. And you see bodies. Lots of bodies. You see bodies with extra eyes, bodies with scales, unnatural hair growing on them, tails, claws, and you see a lot of slashes, and you smell a lot of nasty, rotten flesh.
Goody.
+1 doom has been added to the world from what you've seen. And we're going to end our session there.
What
Yay.
the?
Please, sir, may I have some more doom?
No. Thank you. Mutant Wayne would like not more doom in his day.
So if you guys can please add 1 more doom on your faction clock for me. You guys are up to 7 out of 12 doom.
That was stressful.
Yep, sure are.
I bet we could double that number next time.
How many doom did you say? What?
Just
we should
one.
have 7 total, but yeah, we
Yep.
do.
You're at 7 total. Because you got
Nice.
2 from your first run, 2 from the second run, 2 from Lucius, and then 1
Thanks,
now.
Lucius.
Yeah.
Making the world a greater place. Oh my God. Well, Wayne hasn't blasted anything yet. Give it a minute.
That's what we want. Aerosolized Hellstone.
I'm going to hell, turning into a bug person. You're coming with me.
Yeah, for real. Oh,
Just don't lick
Yeah,
the
so-
walls.
So are you guys excited for the next session?
That'll
I'm
be fun.
nervous.
Yeah.
A little nervous.
Yeah, I'm actually my heart's going a little bit. Like the really bad rolls into the mind kind of got me stressed out.
I thought for sure you were going to say, and as you were like adjusting your bandana with your gloves, you didn't realize that there was Hellstone dust on your fingertips.
Yeah,
I was going to be like, no, that's the whole reason why I
honestly,
wanted to do it.
I saw the slashes and I figured something was gonna move or we were gonna hear something. But
That's for next time.
yeah,
time.
fair enough.
I struggled with the complications chart last time because some of them didn't really fit the situation. So what I did this time is I pre-rolled a list of complications so I can just cross them off and not have to waste time rolling dice. So I can do it off the cuff, or I have kind of a list to go off of. So
Nice. What
But-
the
You
hell
got a
you
top
say?
10 picked out for us.
a little bit. What did you guys think of the role play in this session? I just want to get a little bit of banter that's not just, we're going to die, man.
We are gonna die.
But we're gonna die, man.
You're
I feel
gonna die.
really
I'm
bad.
first out.
I feel really bad for lying to Miss Jolene. But I did,
I know. I kind of forgot we have consequences.
Yeah.
So yeah.
so
Yeah, I did.
I did
was
make a
gonna
note.
say,
I need to figure out how to rectify that next time.
Wayne
Well,
was
she
just
took a
gonna say,
business
"Don't say
approach.
anything, and nobody's liable."
Well, and I should have technically had you guys do a gather information roll, but I was treating it as she is a trusted confidant, and she is someone that is genuinely worried about two of you that she helped raise. So I figured a gather information roll wasn't necessary. But then you guys were like, no, we're fine. It's not us. I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, oh, man.
Wayne
I think
go to zip lip.
Yeah, I mean, which
Technically, Belle didn't tell a lie. She just didn't tell the whole truth. She said, I'm not
I'd
talking
agree.
about that tumbleweed situation.
fair.
I'm talking about the stagecoach that we robbed.
which I thought was really, really slick, like right on the fly. Like that was good. But it's like your mom.
I won't
So-
be mad, just disappointed.
Well,
I had
as
to
soon as you
say
said
it.
stagecoach, Wayne full face palmed.
That was fun. And I will thank you guys too for how you were jumping in on describing the scene. This game is way more player driven, and I really appreciate the give and take that we have with that and describing the scene and building on it. So that's been really fun. Something I didn't expect with this game system that I'm really enjoying. What do you guys think? Is it more responsibility or is it more fun?
It's fun, but I'm also worried about
I think
what
it's
am
more-
I saying? Because I don't know if I'll remember it
Yeah.
next week.
That's all right. It's what we have.
Or how will it be used against
Yeah.
us?
Oh, that's the part that I like. That's why I'm very simple. It's like, okay,
What
we
do
got
I
a building
see?
and
Nothing?
carts.
Nothing but fluffy pillows. Definitely no damned creatures. Someone over here saw multi-tailed scorpions. We're going to get stung by them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Time.
you rolled a 2? You didn't know until this exact moment that you were allergic to goose down as a feather goes up your nose.
Oh, no.
And then the teeth spring out from the pillow and it tries to eat you.
It was a mimic. All right. Well, thank you guys. I'm excited to see where this run goes. It's off to a shaky start, but we'll see. Don't forget to use your grit. And don't forget to do your shout outs so you have a chance to regain
Yeah.
grit.
Definitely need that.
Yeah, that worked out.
And
All right.
until next time,
We hope you can find yourself a table.
or a computer.
And some friends.
So you could roll into your own NatFun.
Bye-bye for now. See you next
Bye-bye.
week.
Adios.
Watch out for the most
Sweet.
multi-tailed
Hasta
scorpions.
luego.
And those
Dust in the
goose
wind.
down feathers, they'll get you.
Dust in
Every
the
time.
wind.
Well, I did not see that coming. What's on the horizon for the Scarlet Vultures in that judge and executioner's mind? Will Belle take charge or quake in her boots? Is Wayne fixing to speak to the spirits in the mine, or will they speak to him? And will Lucius even stick around for the whole thing, or is leaving a sure bet? All that and more as Hellstruck's Demise continues next week here on NatFun. And if you'd like to hear all of the XP the players gained at the start of this session, check it out for free at patreon.com/natfun. And while you're there, you can even snag yourself 40% off your first month of any new NatLite, NatFan, or Nat Family tier subscription. As this month, we are celebrating 6 months of NatFun. So, through the end of November 2025, you can claim that offer with code NatFun40, where you can access up to 14 and a half additional hours of NatFun audio content. And if you subscribe to our Patreon, you can even be entered into a raffle to win yourself a free copy of A Fistful of Darkness, which is a really fun, weird Wild West game system by Monkey Echo that utilizes the well-known Blades in the Dark mechanics, which creates a very player-driven adventure with lots of chances for rewards, risk, and, in A Fistful of Darkness, doom. If you'd like to check it out for yourself, you can at monkeyecho.itch.io/a-fistful-of-darkness. Or, again, sign up for our Patreon and possibly win one of the 2 free copies donated by Monkey Echo themselves for our listeners. There's a link to both in the show notes. I hope to see you next week for more Hellstruck's Demise here on NatFun.